And I want to welcome everyone to our second racehorse meeting. How did you guys, and you're welcome to take yourselves off of mute, but how did you like your first assignment, for those who did it, of creating your story and your why? So what's just somebody, tell us, something that you learned or you got out of it, or something you didn't realize, or did it already help you, in the business by doing this exercise?
Mine really has. I think everyone I keep running across that I'm helping has a thyroid issue, and my dad has it, and so I can really relate to them, being that he's had it, and so that's helped me with that, and me struggling with my eating disorders and all that. Everything in my why, like I've already found tons of people I've related to.
Well, that's awesome.
It helps me drive through.
Yeah, we were kind of amazed at everybody that's just automatically, started sharing, started opening up. I mean, we were kind of, blown away as leaders. So definitely give everyone props. Does anybody else want to comment on theirs?
Yeah, I think because I had already kind of been there before, it kind of was therapeutic again for me, but I always run into, you'd be surprised how many people just don't have faith in themselves or believe in themselves at all. And when you try to do something like this, especially when you write posts about, just believe in yourself, get it done, and then they message you, it's just, it's good because when you've already been there, done that, you've already believed the negative, and you can just say one little sentence, because I always try to teach people to change the conversation with yourself, because for so long you've believed the negative. Well, if you believe the negative, then if you keep telling yourself positive, you'll believe it. And it's just amazing how when you have gone through something, eventually when you come to terms with it being a teacher, then it's amazing how you just feel about it and you're not, insecure about it anymore, and you really, truly just have the passion to help. I mean, it's crazy to me because I made that commitment because I've dabbled. I've been in and out of it. It wasn't a commitment then. And when I started this business, I said to myself, this is a commitment of mine. This is something I'm going to do every single day because I've been in personal development, and then I would stop, do it, stop, do it, stop. So I just made that commitment. And then, I don't know, but they just come out of the woodwork. It's just like, it's crazy, but it helps. It really does.
So for those who haven't done it yet, what would you ladies say to them to help them, be able to do it? How did it help you, or ways that, that you would suggest to help them do it?
Sorry, supper too. I would say to find that why. You really need to find something that triggers that emotion in you. If it's not something that's going to make you cry or teary-eyed, it's not strong enough. For me personally, everything I wrote out on the thing is something that's real emotional to me. So I'd say dig down deep and uncover the stuff that you don't really want to show people.
Yeah, I would say just start writing. Just like write anything on your mind, and then it'll eventually form itself. You might have to write it 5 times and write it 5 different ways, but eventually you'll get down to the deeper parts. So, and I liked that post about just giving a little bit of your story on your timeline every once in a while to your audience. I think that, like, I just put it out there last week, and then I feel like more people are responding to me when I when I message them just to start a conversation. They're more willing to open up. So
yeah. And also your why can change over time, like we talked about, right? So maybe your why isn't super deep right now, but you know, maybe it's just you know, I want to get on stage at Summit, or maybe it's I want to look good in a bikini or whatever, you know. But it'll grow, right? It'll grow and it'll change over time. So you know, don't feel bad if you don't have a, you know, a super story like some of these ladies that we have on our team.
Yeah, Greg, that's what I was going to say. Like, you don't have to have a deep issue or anything. I mean, a lot of women do, but a lot of men do, but you don't have to have that, because there's a reason why you joined this business and decided to make this something into something bigger. So just go back to that and then go from there. Because Greg, you know, like you said, it's going to change, and it may be something simple, but you have to understand what got you to that simple. Because even if you only want to look good in a bikini, there's a reason why you think you may not look good in a bikini. So even dig deeper into that. So, I mean, it could be simple, it could be deep, but it's still your story. So go from there.
Yeah, Robert asked me a question. I don't remember what it was, or I was like, how do I get to my deeper why or whatever? And, you know, he's like, you know, well, you know, Greg, why do you want to be, you know, 15-star or whatever it was? And, you know, I was like, well, you know, I want to have financial freedom. He's like, you know, why do you want to have financial freedom? You know, it's like, so I don't have to worry about money. Why do you not want to have to worry about money? You know, and he just kept asking me that question. So, you know, you just do that to yourself, you know. So tonight, ladies, we want to talk about us, me, Jason, Brian, and Lisa. We are going to talk about the word passion. So somebody help me out. Whenever you take a letter of a word and you remember it by another word, what is that? What is that called?
Acronym.
Is it?
I don't know.
It's not really an acronym, because an acronym is like a shortened, right?
Oh, okay.
An acronym isn't an acronym like NASA. Or
Right. This is more like
anagram.
Anagram? Is that what it is? I don't know. It's something. You guys will figure it out. So we need you to take notes, because this is going to be really good stuff. All right. Amy, you're not writing down. All right. Okay.
There's nothing to write yet other than take notes. Did everybody write down that they need to take notes?
Yeah. I didn't see her move. She didn't budge. So she's good. She was already prepared. All right. So, okay. So I'll start, and we're each going to take a couple letters of the word passion. So P is going to stand for profound significance. Okay. So, you know, what does that mean? You know, we need to believe in ourselves. These are some of the notes that I have. We want to share our goals and our passion with our team. So, you know, just you know, you need to, one of the steps, and we're going to get into this further in the coming weeks, but we're going to get further into your goals, right? So we started with your why, we started with your story, but we're going to get deeper on your goals, right? And then we're going to help you guys achieve those goals. So, you know, right now we're just talking about your passion, because you got to understand your passion, and, you know, that's going to drive you to help you reach your goals, right? So profound significance, that's a big one for me. You know, especially, I think probably all men, you know, as we get older, we want to have, you know, some kind of legacy. We want to leave something behind, you know, for people to remember us by. You know, we want to build something, you know. So, you know, working on this business, building this team of thousands of coaches, you know, that satisfies that profound significance for me. And, you know, one thing that, you know, Robert told me is, he said, you know, you've got to share your vision and your goals with your team. You know, so even if you have your team consists of one other working coach, you know, share with them what your passion is and what your vision is for your team. You know, it's like, you know, make them your success partner. You know, you just go to them and say, hey, you know, I want to build this team. I want to get to Diamond. I want to get us, you know, to Diamond. I want to get us on stage. You know, I want us to have, you know, so many coaches someday, or I want us to be able to, be able to take trips together, so, share, even if you have a very small team, you can still share your vision. And, after Robert told me to do it, it was when we had that team call. And I don't know if you remember, but like Brian shared and I shared and Scott shared, it was after the men's thing. So I shared my vision with you guys, of like how I wanted to, double the size of our team. I wanted to double our team volume for the year. I wanted to have, our team to be as recognizable as like the Bombshell Dynasties, and other things, so those are all part of my vision and what I shared with you guys and where I want to go, because, how can your team help you get to where you want to go if they don't know where you want to go, right? So even if you have a small team, share your vision and come up with that profound significance. So that's the first one. The second one is an A, which is action, not apathy. So every insignificant thing creates something significant. Do the things you want to do. So for this one, I think of so many coaches that, they aim, and they never fire. I mean, if you look at, the 21-day kickstarts that run every single month, or the new Emerald, the free challenge group training that I've started, you'll see the same coaches in there over and over and over again, and it's not like they're in there because they have new coaches that they're signing up, it's just they're in there because they think they don't have it. They think that they don't have what it takes, so they think, oh, I haven't learned everything yet. I can't put it into action, and that's like the nail in the coffin. If you think that, you need to learn more, or you need to take this training 2 or 3 times, you don't, it's you just gotta go out and do it. Action, not apathy. So that's the important point there. I mean, you ladies, I know some of you are afraid to talk to people. I know, Lisa will probably tell you that she has a fear of, talking to people on the phone. So, when I was talking to her, one-on-one, I said, Lisa, you gotta get over this fear. Your task for the week is to get somebody on the phone and talk to them about coaching, and you got to keep doing that until you get over that fear, So if your fear is, a fear of speaking to your coaches, or a fear of speaking to prospects, or public speaking, you just got to do it. You got to do it and do it and do it. It's like, when I first created a video, I sucked at it. I was one of the person that had to take like 50 takes to get a good video, and you guys are probably similar boat, if you've ever done a video. But the more you do it, the easier it gets, right? And the, more comfortable you get at it. So, in order to build that team, to help you guys get to Diamond, you got to get people on the phone. You got to talk to people. You just got to take that action, and you got to do it. You got to say, I'm going to talk to, 5 people this week, and I'm going to talk to them on the phone. I'm going to get them on the phone, and I'm going to talk to them about coaching or whatever, or I'm going to talk to them about Challenge Pack. You just got to do it. So that's my recommendation to you guys. And those are my 2 letters. So who's next? Jason.
I think we spell passion with 2 S's in the middle, and so I'll chime in on those 2 S's. The first one is it's soul on fire, and I like to, for this one, when you say that out loud, you're kind of like, soul on fire. What does that mean? To me, it means seeing. It means having a vision of what it will be. So it's a little bit different than your why. Your why a lot of times encompasses your background, whereas seeing that vision, seeing your soul, seeing your potential finish line, it's what is it going to feel like when you reach those goals? You have to feel that dream, see it before it happens. And again, Amber mentioned something about kind of like belief in self when it comes to doing posts and whatnot, and I get sometimes throwing those things out there. Again, it's kind of along the lines of fake it till you make it, was what I was thinking when she was saying that. But you have to believe in yourself. You have to envision that dream. And again, you take your why and you make your why bigger. And you paint a picture of yourself, again, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. And we'll be asking you guys to do that in the next couple of weeks also, where we'll have you take that why and go beyond that and create it into a vision of who you are, and then what it'll feel like to meet that goal, to be that person. And to me, it's similar to a before and an after photo. You take your before photo. In many ways, your before photo is your why, and your after photo is that vision. So I know a lot of times if you do a before photo, you'll look at it and you'll kind of imagine, okay, a little less along here, a little bit wider up in here, a little bit, you can almost draw it in. And that's what your vision is. That's what that S is going to be, that seeing, that soul on fire, that seeing what the future is going to be like. And again, so you all have your goals and your why, and that why will then turn into a vision of something bigger, something greater. So that's the first S. And the second one is service to others. Our lives are not about us. It's about reaching out to others and helping them. Again, this is a service community. It's a service business. Do we get things back if we serve good? Yes, we do. But we have to serve good. We have to be, to our customers, we have to, again, show service, which is just sometimes going out there and doing the hard things for them and answering the questions and then Googling things and then figuring it out and talking to them again and maybe even getting on the phone. But it's being smaller than everybody else. It's being a servant. It's being, as leaders, it's different also to our teams. Again, whether you got one coach or 9 coaches or 52 coaches, it's being a mentor leader to them. Not a hierarchy. This isn't a dictatorship. There's nobody here that's a dictator. And you could see it with Greg. Greg's always putting himself out there, doing new training, doing something new. Being that mentor leader, again, being a servant, being subservient to those around you. And if you can do that, and if you can bend over backwards for those that you've brought into the business, bend over backwards for your customers, and always have that mentality of, I'm going to do this for you, it's going to bounce back. So serving others, it will bounce back to you. And again, if I tie it back into that first S, you're going to see that vision, and that vision is going to be much more apt to be reality down the line if you are a mentor leader, and if you are a leader that leads by example and is always putting others before you, because it will bounce back and land in your lap. So there's my 2 S's. Who has I?
Okay, I'm up. Passion. I have I, and then I'm going to lead it into O. So the I in passion stands for inward devotion to greatness. Okay, and to me, that means to not be afraid of being great, not be afraid of becoming great. And more importantly, realizing that you deserve to be great. You deserve greatness. For a long time, I lived my life where I didn't think I deserved greatness. I didn't deserve to be there, that it was something reserved for other people. Even though I wished for it, it was something that just, seemed out of my reach. But once you start believing it, and once I started believing it, that it was possible, that I could do great things, that is when it started to happen. Because you have to have, and we talked a little bit about that, it all starts with that belief that you can do these things. That, are you going to be scared? Is it fearful? Heck yeah. As coaches, we're putting ourselves out there every single day, whether we're talking to customers, other coaches, doing calls like this. These things are very fearful. And just like Greg said, and Jason, the more that you do it, the more that you believe that you can do it, and the more that you do it, the better that you get at it. It's not luck. This doesn't happen with luck. When you see Greg speak, as he mentioned with making his videos, when we see Robert speak, who mentors us, excuse me, we're just blown away. because we're like, wow, this guy must have been like this all his life. And the truth is, no. You know, it's me, myself. There's no way I ever thought I'd be able to do something that I'm doing right now, talking to you guys about. I mean, it's just, you know, believing, you know, that you have this greatness inside of you and believing that you have the power to share it with other people. One person with passion can change the world. Okay, so to me, that means, first, for me, passion, what is passion for me? I mean, passion is electric, okay? I look at it as like enthusiasm on steroids. It's the driving force that we all have that leads us to happiness, basically, success and happiness. So when you have this passion, when you're passionate about this business and reaching people and helping people, and when you're passionate about your own goals and what you want to achieve, that force is just, it's tremendous, you know, and it's going to get you over all those objections that you're going to run into. When you look at us coaches here, Greg, myself, Lisa, Jason, and you know, and a lot of you guys have had success too, but there's so many failures out there. And if you lose your passion, you know, there's no way you're going to be able to get over that hump. And we're not immune to it either. This has been a rough, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, this past week has been a really, really rough week for me, as far as coaching goes. And I can't really pinpoint exactly what it is. It's just so much things are going on, and I feel like I'm kind of being spread thin. And as coaches, you're going to feel like that a lot. You know, the more successful that you become, you know, the more things that you're doing and the less time you have to do other things, you know, and it's really tough when you're working a 40-hour job, when you have families. And the only thing that gets me through, you know, the only thing that gets me through this week, you know, is my passion for this business, you know, and my passion of helping people, you know, that otherwise there's no way I would be able to do it if I didn't have that. So let me look at my notes here real quick. Oh, I love this quote. This is a quote by John Wesley. This is awesome. Write this down. When you set yourself on fire, people love to come and see you burn. Okay, now not literally, even though they probably would, but when you set yourself on fire, people love to come and see you burn. When you are so passionate about what you do, and when you're sharing that with so many people, and you're so enthusiastic about it, people want to come to you. People will follow you. Okay, and that is what you need to, that's how you need to approach everything that you do in this business and in life. When you have that passion, you know, people see it, it's genuine, you know, and that's how you lead, and that's how people are going to follow you. And one more quote, I like this quote by Albert Einstein. Oh, I shouldn't have told you who it said, I should have just read it first. But this is a quote he said. He said, and you don't need to be talented, you know, to have passion. Passion has nothing to do with talent. And Greg talked about that. You know, you have action. You know, if you're passionate and you put it to action, X's and O's and talent, you know, that stuff comes. That comes. I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious. And that was a quote by Albert Einstein. You know, so that's it. Those are my two: I, inward devotion to greatness, and O, one person with passion can change the world. All right, I'm going to go and throw it over to Lisa.
So I'm wrapping it up. I've got letter N, right? And so for N, we're going to be talking about never giving up, okay, which is like the name of the game in this business. And I can personally attest to that. There's going to be things that happen throughout the course of you being a Beachbody coach, right? Whether it be people doubting you, or you doubting yourself, or you're going to have setbacks, and things are going to happen personally in your life that kind of hold you back from your coaching experience. And then you have the opportunity to come back in, or you have the opportunity to give up. So just to give you a little personal history with me, So about, I don't know, it was like my dad, let's see, my dad's been gone almost 2 years. So about 2.5 years ago, I hit diamond. And I was like, journey upward. And I really felt like I had found my stride and I was doing great. And then I mentioned it last week where my father was suffering from ALS and he started to decline. And as he started to decline, we found out that I was pregnant. And when I was 4.5 months pregnant, I lost my dad. Right before that, I lost my diamond ring because I lost one of my emeralds, right? And I was like pissed because, you know, like I wanted it, but like she had a medical problem come up and like my want couldn't make her regain her ability to coach, right? So I was ticked for like a month. Like I was just pissed. I'm like, I worked really hard for this and, you know, I was like grumbling. And then as my dad started to get sick, I lost focus on the business. I stopped focusing on that. When my dad passed, I just stopped coaching altogether. You know, I was pregnant. I was grieving that. And then as I started to kind of come back, like I remember texting or messaging Greg like, hey, I'm back. And then my mom died like that really. And at that point I had an infant. And again, I had to drop off. And I remember at one point I stopped and I looked at my business and I had done nothing. My coaches weren't doing anything because I wasn't doing anything. And like, I wasn't inspiring anybody to do anything. I was making sales here and there, but like I looked at my business and I knew I had an opportunity either just to call it quits or to pull up my big girl panties and jump back in. And so I remember back on a phone call, Jay Floyd had me talk on a diamond call. And as Greg says, like, I am frightened of phone calls for whatever. And I got conned into doing this phone call. And I remember on that call, he made a comment saying the difference between diamonds and other coaches is that when diamonds hit a setback, they pick it back up and they into what they do. So if you lose rank, a diamond's not just gonna be like, I give up, that's it, I'm out. A diamond's gonna get back up and figure out how they get back up there. And like that stuck with me. And so that day where I just sat there and I was looking at my business and I had that opportunity to quit or to pick it up, I was like, all right, you know what? I did this once before, I can do this again. So when you're presented with these obstacles and you're gonna hit them, right? Hopefully not like I did, but you're gonna hit setbacks, right? Something's gonna happen, you might get pregnant, right? And you kind of like your fitness falls off and you know, you're feeling, oh, you haven't slept, right? I know Abby, you are losing sleep probably, or maybe you have a better baby than I do, but like there's things that happen, right? There's things that happen, but you have an opportunity to pick yourself up and go with it and make it better, or you have an opportunity to walk away, right? And so we're asking you to pull up your panties, right? Jump back on the horse and run, right? Make something out of it. Because if I would have quit at that point and I had every reason to quit and just focus on like my family, I would never be where I am today. And I am 10 times further than I was when I was at my peak before my dad passed. Like where I've gotten now is like so beyond my brain comprehension, right? And it's all because I made that choice, either to quit or to run with it. So that's your N, right? Do not give up. When all those things are thrown at your face, people are going to doubt you. People are going to try and knock you down off your horse. Get a little taller in your saddle and ride, right? Do not give up. So how can you apply all of this to your business, right? I get the fun part. I'm giving you homework, right? Get your pens out, right? Everyone has their pens. So for each letter, I'm going to give you kind of like a call to action. I'm going to give you a little task. So you're going to have 7 different tasks. I had to count how many letters we had here. You're going to have 7 different tasks. They're not huge, right? Some of them are a little bit bigger than others, but you're going to have 7 little tasks, okay? So the first one is for your P. We want you to share your goals and your passion with others, especially the members on your team, right? So I don't know if you guys have like a personally sponsored coach page, right? So like when we got this call, like when we got this homework assignment in our group with Robert, I immediately went on my coach page and told them like, this is what I want to do with you guys. You need to tell your team where you want to go with them because they can't get you and you can't get them to where you want to be without them knowing what you want, right? So get a hold of your team, let them know what your goals are, not only for you, right? That's important for them to know where you want to go, but also what you want as a group to do together. And then find a and think about like what you want from this, like where you want to go, not only just in this business, but like in your life. Where do you want to go? Because the two are going to go hand in hand, right? If you know where you want to go in life, this business is going to help you get there. So just kind of find a quiet place and just meditate on it, right? Kind of go up on your mountain and put your fingers together in your little yoga pose and meditate. Okay, so that's for your A. We want you to take action, right? Do those little insignificant things that scare the hell out of you, right? So like Greg told me, get on a phone call. I went and got on a phone call, and then I immediately wrote to him. I was like, I got on a phone call, right? So if it scares you, we want you to do it, right? Get out of your comfort zone, get out of your box. It didn't kill me that I got on that phone call. Whatever scares you, it's not going to kill you. It might make you a little like uncomfortable, and I like sweat, but like you're not going to die from it. So take action. Do something insignificant. Take action, right? So that's your A. For your first S, we want you to think or meditate what it's going to feel like to accomplish your dreams, right? So figure out what you want to do, right? We've already talked about that a little bit. Figure out what you want to do, and then like try to actually feel what it's going to feel like to accomplish those things, right? Because when you're getting to those places where you want to quit, if you can like make your mind think back to this exact moment, like when you were doing this task, what it's going to feel like to check something off your list, that's what's going to help to push you forward instead of let you fall off your horse. Okay. Your second S, we wanted you to think of someone you can encourage or talk to, right? And this doesn't necessarily have to be like Beachbody related. This can be just anything. You're serving others. So if someone is having difficulty with something, it could be anything, like a medical problem. How can you help them, right? Think of who you can help serve, because that's what we're doing here is we're serving others. Okay, so find someone that you can encourage or talk to. Your I, this is a good one, right? This one really did a lot for me. So we want you to write out your dreams, what your dreams would be if money was not an issue, right? So do you, like, is there a house that you see like in an ad, like I want that house? So if money were not an issue, where would you want to be? Where would you want to go? Right? And jot those down and be specific with it, right? Because the more specific it is, the more fun it is. If money were not an issue. For O, make a list of family or friends that you can help and encourage tomorrow. Right? And again, this does not have to be Beachbody related. Of course, it's going to help your business if it is, but who can you help and encourage tomorrow? So like if you've been scrolling through your newsfeed and you see that someone has been having like some issues, you know, we all have those friends who like kind of bleh on their newsfeed, right? And you know that someone's going through something. Okay, so I know Betty is having some kind of issue, right? And I know that like I could maybe write her a personal message. Nothing like salesy, just how can I help? Like I'm just so that you know I'm here to listen to you, right? So find someone that you could encourage or talk to. And then the last one, for your N, I want you to make a promise to yourself that you will be here 1 year from right now. So on May 11th of 2016, you are going to be right here. Now you're going to be further than this, because if you've stayed, you're not going to be where you're at right now. But I want you to promise yourself that you are not going to give up. You are going to be here a year from now, right? So those are your 7 little homework assignments to take this passion and run with it.
And also when that life crisis comes up, that you're not going to quit, like Lisa said, because it's going to come up. It happens to all of us. You know, they're an unexpected death, the car blew up and I don't have any money and now I got to go get another job. Whatever it is, whatever your life crisis is, don't let it make you quit. So just commit to, hey, I'm going to be here a year from now, regardless of what life throws my way in the next year, at least. So
one thing that stuck out to me when I was at that moment where I was considering quitting or coming back, like one of my favorite quotes, and this is again kind of what helped to propel me forward. I always remind myself that setbacks are just setups for amazing comebacks, right? And that's exactly what happened to me. Like I had a massive setback, but it was just setting myself up for where I am right now, right? So don't let those setbacks, and you're going to hit them, right? Especially, we all have lost rank at some point, you know, like all those star diamonds, like they lose some of their stars here and there. You get back up, right? But don't let a little setback hold you back, because that's just setting you up for an amazing comeback. Just keep that little nugget in there.
Yeah, well, thank you, everyone. So does anybody have any questions about what we talked about or about anything else before we, wrap it up?
What was that first S Lisa said? Or anything? I missed it. It was kind of, I don't, with the noise, I couldn't really hear it that good.
The first, think or meditate on what it's going to feel like to actually accomplish your dreams.
Okay.
Like physically try to feel it.
So if if maybe one of your dreams is to be debt free, to have absolutely no more debt, credit card debt, whatever it is, think how it's going to feel when you wake up that morning and you have no debt. You don't have to write that check, or do we write checks anymore, or go online and make that bill payment every month. I mean, what's that going to feel like? What's it going to feel like? Maybe it's taking that trip you always wanted to go, maybe to Italy. What's it going to feel like taking that cruise all around the Mediterranean? That you're able to do that. What is it going to feel like when you wake up that day and you're getting on that flight to fly out, and get on that ship, that awesome ship, and spend 10 days just relaxing, and not having to worry about money, and where the money is coming from. What's that going to feel like? Picture that right now in your head. What is it going to feel like? And that's your S right there.
And one more thing on that one, don't only just picture it. We do this in challenge groups, when we have little success stories along the way, somebody loses a pound or they drop a dress size, and you cheer them on and they pronounce it to the world. Do the same thing with your life. If some of whatever your life goals are, whatever your vision is, if you fulfill a vision, a stepping stone in that journey, don't be afraid to share it. I shared one today on my wall a couple hours ago, basically saying, I was able to pay for some things without a credit card and without a second mortgage. Is that my final vision? Is that my final goal? No. It is a stepping stone that I'm proud of, and I'm sharing it. So don't be afraid to share some of those things. Whatever your goals, your visions end up being, don't be afraid of sharing the struggles along the way as well as the successes, because that makes you real. In the same way, do it with your business in the same way as you might with your fitness. When you celebrate your fitness goals or even your fitness struggles, don't be afraid to do that with your business as well.
Okay, well, that wraps it up. We will see you guys next Sunday again at 9 o'clock.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, y'all.
Happy belated Mother's Day to everybody.
Yes.
And it was really funny when Lisa said pregnant, and like half of you guys looked like, no, never again. So Kim got really pale.